How you doing? It's Katie with you. It's Heart 107.1. Very excited. I'm joined in the studio today by Nina Davuluri. Have I said it correctly?
Yes, you have. Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, we are honoured to have you here because in the studio right now we have an actual Miss America, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, come on now. Nina, how incredible. You are a Miss America, first off, 2014, and the first of Indian descent. Now, that's an incredible title, and it must mean a lot. So, first of all, what's the background? What's the heritage? Yes. Tell us all of that.
Thank you so much. My family is actually from India, and I was born in Syracuse, New York, but my grandparents actually raised me in Vijayawada, southern India, small town, and I grew up there for about 2.5 years. So my first spoken language is actually Telugu, a South Asian dialect.
Oh my goodness, yeah, dialect.
Yes, and then came back to America, and my family was in Oklahoma at the time.
Okay.
So came back to America when I was about 4 years old. And
wow.
continued, my education there.
Do you remember much about being in India?
I do not. I feel like I remember the pictures.
Yeah.
You know, when you attach memories to pictures.
Yeah.
But most of my earliest memories are probably in Oklahoma.
Amazing. But what an incredible experience to go through that, and again to have that kind of heritage. So, about Miss America then. I mean, I have so many questions. First of all, how did you get into pageanting in the first place, and then obviously build up to the biggest crown ever?
So I actually started competing for scholarship money, which a lot of people don't realize.
No way.
So after Oklahoma, my family moved to Michigan when I was 10 years old, and so I knew I wanted to go to college, and my parents were generous enough, I should say, to pay for a portion of my education. But I knew that I had to fund another significant portion of that, which
is not cheap,
astronomically expensive right now. And so one of my friends introduced me to the organization, and through my time competing for Miss America, I earned a little over $90,000 in scholarship money.
Wow.
Was able to graduate debt-free, and I still have about $50,000 left to put towards my graduate degree. So it's been not only a wonderful resource for obviously to pay for my education, but also it really opened the doors for me to be a speaker and advocate and launch a career in so many different directions that I could have never imagined.
Absolutely. I mean, and that's something we're definitely going to touch on a little bit later, because what an amazing platform, as you say, to almost springboard you into it. Going back to the actual Miss America competition itself, I'm going to play something for you now, and I want to know what goes through your mind when you hear this.
Oh my goodness.
Anything you want to share?
Yes. Oh gosh. I remember I will always say, I did a Bollywood dance. This is to the song Dhoom Thana from Om Shanti Om.
Here it goes.
Yes.
Yeah. Whenever you want to bust out into the routine, Nina, you just do it.
Okay. It's been so long. And I remember I will always say, I think truly performing this talent for me was my winning moment to showcase Bollywood in mainstream America on a stage like Miss America, and have it be recognized for what it is. I will always say that was my crowning moment, and I think winning was just icing on the cake.
Because from my understanding is you were told as well, if you go Bollywood route, you will never win.
Yes. I was told that I need to be more American and not Indian, that America just wasn't ready for someone like me. And I remember thinking to myself, you know what, if I'm going to win this title, it has to be in my terms and in my way. And growing up, Indian American, it was such a huge part of my culture, and I didn't feel like I should have to pick or choose one side or the other, because I am both.
Yeah, absolutely. And what was your reaction to the people afterwards? I mean, obviously, we're not going to say any bad words on the radio, but was there anything that you were like, that Pretty Woman moment? Yeah, big mistake.
Right, yeah,
huge.
big mistake. Huge. It's interesting because my platform was already diversity and cultural competency. So I knew going in, should I win, there would probably be some sort of negative response, as there is always with anything. But I will say, I think, for every negative comment, tweet, or post, I received hundreds, if not thousands, of words of positive encouragement. And so to really use that to launch my platform via social media, this was, in 2014 when all of it was really in its prime, picking up, and created a hashtag called Circles of Unity, reality that still continues today. And I'm excited to be speaking about that here in Dubai.
And we know that you suffered a lot of kind of xenophobia, a lot of backlash, purely because, heaven forbid, your background. Tell us about that and how you dealt with it.
Yeah, I think it was something that I was anticipating. I think it goes to show how resistant a lot of people are to change in something truthfully as small as Miss America in comparison to the grand scheme of things happening in the world. And so for me, it was really, again, that opportunity to say this is why my platform is so relevant, and to be able to understand everyone's cultures and backgrounds. And I'm not going to sit here and say we're all going to agree on everything, because that's not ideal nor realistic. But I think we can all have, important conversations that are insightful and respect one another, regardless of our beliefs. And that's kind of the basis of cultural competency.
Yeah, and that's what you said earlier about sort of for the one negative social media comment that you obviously had 100 positive ones. Of course, there might be someone listening to you right now who's perhaps experiencing the same thing. Obviously, we know in this ridiculous generation, there's online bullying, even with our younger generation. Is there any words of advice you could give anybody that thinks they're going through it?
Absolutely. I would say definitely, first and foremost, speak to someone. You're not alone in all of this. I think on some level, we've all experienced it. And of course, I think I've always said that it's so challenging growing up in today's world with social media, and I was kind of on the cusp of it, but I see so much more of it now. And I think in this time, it's so important to know who you are, to love who you are, and really stand up for who you are when you see things happening, and also to not be a bystander when you see it happening to others.
That's really crucial what you just said as well, because we are, again, in that kind of world. We're like, oh no, we're fine. She's fine, they're fine, but yeah, speak up. I love it. Okay, well, that's good. And it's good to hear that from words of experience. Nina Davuluri, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
And good luck tomorrow. Enjoy your time in the UAE.
I certainly will.
Thank you.